Hey loves, it's Belinda Selene and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I want to share with you guys about things that I wish that I would have known about breastfeeding and that surprised me that I wish I would have known sooner. So I am a new mom if you are new to my channel. I have a 9-week-old baby. He is my first, he is my world, and we waited a really long time for him. So now that we have him, it is amazing, and I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to breastfeed. But there's just some things that I wish I would have known before I started breastfeeding. I felt like I read so much about breastfeeding, trying to get as much knowledge as possible, so when the time came, I knew exactly what to do. And to be honest, there were so many things that no one told me and that I just had to learn from experience, and I didn't read about it anywhere. So I wanted to share with you guys those things. And if you are new to breastfeeding, or if you are pregnant and planning to, hopefully these are helpful. Or if you are a pro and you just want someone to relate to as you're going along with this journey, then this is the video to watch, because we can relate on so many things that a lot of people have not told us. So I do have it here on my list, and I also am looking at my baby. He is sleeping right now, so I took the opportunity to film this video. I planned this entire video from like 7 in the morning. Like, I made sure to get ready on time, and it's now 6 at night, and this whole day I had to like set up my camera and do all that stuff. So up until now, I'm ready to film. So let's get right into it. I'm just looking at my phone. The first thing that no one told me was how physically and mentally challenging breastfeeding can be. And there's so many different factors to it. But when it came to how often a newborn fed was so different than reading about it, because a baby, especially a newborn, will eat anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, and that's not like a gap in between of 2 hours. That's from the very first time that they feed, you mark 1 hour, and then 2 hours later you start feeding again, not including the time that it takes you to actually feed your baby. So for example, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you feed your baby. It takes you 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And if they're really sleepy, like most newborns are, they're going to snooze off and they're not going to have a full feeding. So you have to constantly keep waking them up. And that to me has been the biggest challenge. Even now, he's 9 weeks old and I still struggle to wake him up just to feed. So it can take us anywhere from 35 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour if he's super sleepy, even if he had a great nap. But you have to wake them up to feed no matter what, because you want them to gain the weight that they're supposed to and be healthy. So they're constantly growing and they constantly need to eat around the clock. So that to me was very different. I didn't know that, and I wish I would have known about that more, just so that I could prepare myself of what it's going to be like. On that topic of how often they feed, it could be very time consuming, which is something that I was not aware of. When you feed a baby a bottle, they can gulp it down in 10 minutes, you burp them, you change them, and that's it. But when it comes to breastfeeding, it's very time consuming. Like I said, it could take anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes depending on your baby and depending on your milk supply. And so I realized that I didn't have much time for a lot of things, and as much as I love my baby and as much as I want to breastfeed him, I couldn't even find the time to make myself a meal or to go to the bathroom if I was by myself, especially in the beginning weeks when, as a new mom, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have like a routine or a schedule. I didn't have anything prepared because I didn't know. And so my baby was just kind of eating around the clock. Something that helped me a lot was for me to be able to pump milk and then have somebody else help me feed him while I was able to do other things. So now that we kind of got into a routine with a newborn, I am able to pump any extra milk that I have. After every feeding, I will pump, or at night is when I get the most let down, and I will have a bottle ready. So throughout the day, if I need to get something done, or if I want to go to the grocery store, if I want to do other things, then I could have someone help me. Like my husband can just stay home and feed the baby while I go out and get some groceries or anything like that. Okay, so something that has made it so incredibly helpful and doable was getting a portable pump. This right here is something that I often talk about. I talk about it all the time on my Instagram stories, because this has given me the opportunity to do more things and still be able to continue to accomplish my goal of breastfeeding my baby. And this is a portable breast pump. It is the LV pump, and you just charge this, you turn it on, you put it inside of your bra, and you're pumping. It's so quiet that no one ever notices that I'm pumping, and I can just put it underneath my shirt and nobody ever really notices. You will notice that they look a little bit bigger, but right now I could just wear a sweater outside, I could be grocery shopping and I'm pumping, I could be driving, and before I get in the car I just turn them on and I have them pumping, and then I'll go to the grocery store, and by the time that I get to my location and I'm parked, I could take out my pump and I could just, you know, like put it to the side until I get home. So they are so incredibly convenient. Okay, we've been able to visit our family, so when I go to my mom's house and I want to have more time with my family, I could pump and then I could give it to my baby so that, you know, grandma, aunt, uncle, like somebody can feed the baby and they could bond with the baby, and then I have a little bit more free time to do other things. So it's really nice that I don't have to be stuck to the wall with a regular ordinary pump where you have to literally be attached by cords and you can't really do much else. I also love it because at night I will go ahead and have a bottle ready for him, and then that allows me an extra hour or two for me to continue to work while I'm at the computer, and then I can get up and have dinner and just walk around my house and not feel like I am just stuck to the wall. So I highly recommend these. When I first heard about these, I really wanted them, and my insurance actually covered a portion of it, and then I paid for the rest. And they have been honestly the best thing ever because I can have a little bit more free time and do a lot more things. And the coolest part is that LV actually reached out and asked to sponsor today's video, which I was over the moon. I was like, are you kidding me? You have made my life as a new mom who is breastfeeding so much easier. That is the coolest thing. Honestly, if you're thinking about getting them, 100% I recommend them. They have 2 new products that they came out with, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. So they just sent these over. The first one is the LV Curve, and this is a silicone breast pump. So what I like to do is when I have Benji on one side and I'm feeding him, I'll take this right here and I'll put it on the other side, and with the suction of the silicone I just squeeze this and I put it on my breast. This will catch your letdown as your baby is nursing from one side. So it's really cool. It doesn't require for you to charge it, for you to plug it in. It's all silicone. It's really neat. I really like it, and I like the design of it because it makes it so comfortable and easy, like nothing is like dangling down. So this for me, I have noticed, has increased my milk supply because I will have it on one side as it's leaking and I'm not wasting any of it, but then when I switch them over to the other side, I will go ahead and put it on the other breast and it will continue to let down. So this has been really awesome. It holds up to 4 ounces, which is a lot, and it's really comfortable. The other product that I want to share with you guys from LV that's new is the LV Catch, and this is the slip proof milk collection cups. Throughout the day, if you tend to leak, instead of wearing the pads inside of your bra to absorb any milk, these will actually help catch whatever leaking you have, and you can actually save it and not let anything go to waste. And once again, these are very comfortable. They do have silicone on the sides here so that they actually stay on your breast comfortably, and it collects quite a lot. I've seen others where they're really small and they're made out of all plastic and they're hard and they feel really uncomfortable inside of your bras, but this one is like designed to your breasts, so that way it feels a lot more comfortable and it doesn't feel weird inside of your bra. So, and they'll actually stay in place, like they're not going to move because it does have like that silicone on the side. So I highly recommend all of these. They're pretty awesome. I highly recommend these portable pumps from LV. I will have information and links to the products down in the description box below. If you guys are thinking about getting it, stop thinking about it and just get it. I highly recommend it. Another thing that no one told me and that I didn't read much about was how you're gonna need pretty much a new wardrobe. And I'm saying that because you constantly need to have access to be able to take off your top or have access to be able to breastfeed your baby. And so I noticed that I need a nursing bra that's easy for me to access, or to have a bra or a shirt that I can easily pull up. But to me, my favorite ones are the nursing tank tops that I wear underneath my tops. That way my stomach is not completely like revealed, or if I'm, you know, at my sister's house, like I don't just have like everything out everywhere. So what I like to do is I like to wear wear nursing bras and then nursing tank tops underneath specific like tops. That way, like I said, my stomach is not totally exposed and it's a little bit more discreet and I feel more comfortable nursing my baby. And I wear nursing bras now all the time, which makes it so much easier. So if you're thinking about breastfeeding, highly recommend to start getting nursing bras now, and that'll make it so much easier. Something else that was really fascinating to me was finding out that babies could smell your breast milk, which is so crazy to me. I did not know that. So at night, I noticed that my baby sleeps really, really well, and that is because I am right next to him. He's in the bassinet and he smells me near him, so he's able to sleep better. He sleeps a lot better than during the day when he takes his naps, because he only naps for an hour, and I think most babies are supposed to nap for like up to 2 hours, but mine only naps for 1 hour. He just loves being up. I have tried so many different ways to try and get him down a lot sooner and try to get him to take longer naps, but he's just happy having 1 hour naps, and then at night he sleeps pretty well. He'll sleep like longer stretches, anywhere from like 4 to 6 hours, and sometimes we get like 9 to 10 hours of sleep, 5 hours, and then 5 hours, or 6 hours and then 4 hours. Like, it just depends, but we've been having some pretty great sleep, but that is because, I don't know, he just likes to be up during the day, which is great. I also didn't realize that we would actually need a lot of bottles and a lot of different things for babies. I figured since I'm breastfeeding my baby exclusively, then I don't need baby bottles. Like, I don't need all these other things that formula fed babies need, because obviously they need bottles, they need all these things to feed, but since I'm breastfeeding my baby, I don't need that. Well, if you want to pump and you want to have somebody else feed your baby, or if you want to pump and store that milk, you still need to wash pump parts, you need to wash bottles, you need to wash all the things and accessories that you need. And on that subject, also the type of bottle that you give your baby with your breast milk makes a huge difference. I didn't know that you needed bottles that had a slow flow, so that way your baby doesn't get full as fast, because if they're breastfed, it takes them a long time to get full. It takes them 30 minutes, as opposed to if you give a baby a bottle, they can gulp it down in like 10 minutes. So you need something that's going to be slow, so they don't get confused and they don't start preferring the bottle over you, because they get fed a lot faster with the bottle. So that was something that I had to experiment with. I had to find the right bottle, I had to find the right nipples for each one, and all of that was really new to me, and that's something that I didn't read a lot about, and I wish there was more information on that subject as well. And I'm looking outside my window, my neighbors are walking across the street. They're probably wondering like what I'm doing, because I have the windows wide open. Something that I did often read about was how painful it was in the beginning when it came down to breastfeeding. But I didn't realize how hard it was going to be, because as a new mom, you're learning so many new things. You're trying to have your baby latch on, you're trying to position your baby correctly, you're trying to make sure that they're feeding correctly, that they're not falling asleep. And on top of that, it could be really, really painful. Something that really surprised me about breastfeeding are all the benefits that come with it. So I did read a lot about it, but something that really shocked me was that you can help regulate your baby's body temperature based off just putting him on your breast, and your body can help regulate their body temperature, which is so crazy to me. I think that's like magic. That is so cool. And that your breast milk actually changes temperature in order to help your baby out. So if it's really hot outside, like, your breast milk will cool down a little bit so that your baby doesn't feel as hot. Or if it's really cold, it warms up. Like, it is just so insane and crazy to me. I feel like it's magic. It's really cool, and that is something that I didn't read about, and now knowing about it now, it's just like, wow, it is really awesome what women can do with their bodies. Okay, let me tell you guys about something that just recently happened to me that I was really surprised about. So I had to go run some errands, and so I left a bottle for my mother-in-law to feed the baby at home, and so I brought my portable pump with me, and I was going to put the pump on while I was in the car in order to go from Target and then go to like the grocery store afterwards. So I stayed a little bit too long at Target, and so I knew that I had to pump at a specific time, so that way I could pump every 3 hours and keep up with my supplies so that I could have milk when I came home from my baby. And while I was at Target, I realized that I took a little bit longer, and then my breast started to pulse, and I was like, why are my breasts pulsing? Like, that is so strange. And then I noticed that I started to leak a little bit, And I looked at my app that tracks how often I feed my baby, and it was time for him to eat. And I was like, wow, that is so crazy. Like, without even knowing, because I was so distracted, like my body just knew that it was time to feed my baby, which is so crazy to me and so cool. So I finished up really quick. I checked out, and then I went to the car. I popped on my breast pump, and then I went to the grocery store. But I just think that is so crazy how like your body just knows what to do, and just like, you know, helps you nourish your baby. I know a lot of people constantly talk about the challenges of breastfeeding, but I want to leave off by telling you that it is one of the most beautiful bonding experiences that you can have with your child. I absolutely love feeding my baby. Yes, it is time consuming. Yes, it was painful in the beginning. I personally absolutely love it. I love holding my baby. I love it when they hug your breast and they're looking up at you with their little eyes, and I just feel so loved. And my little one's waking up right now. Aww. Oh, my precious little boy. I love you so much. Oh, let's eat. Yeah? Let's eat. Yeah, so I had to go get my little one. He just woke up from his nap and it was time for him to eat. I'm gonna go ahead and feed my little Benji. So if you guys have any comments or any questions, please leave them down in the comments down below. And I will have links to all the products that I talked about when it comes to LV. I want to give them a huge shout out and thank them for sponsoring today's video. They have honestly made my life so much easier as a new mom. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Muchos besos. Mwah. What was it worth? I can't take back, I can't stop feeling. How about you?